Jackson.
How are you, Joanne?
Good. I'm so sorry. I am late. God,
I can't believe you.
I just got off another call and I was like,
You're
I
okay.
really have to go. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Where are you based out of?
I'm in Boulder, Colorado.
Boulder.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How about yourself?
You have a rover?
What is that? You have a Land Rover?
That song, the you know the Boulder song, the rap song?
Ah,
Oh man, it's what is it? Never Getting Older, I think it's called. Boulder. I gotta look this up because
never getting older. Oh,
yeah, it's what is that song? He says you
and they're talking
it
about
talks
Boulder.
about her stealing the mattress from her roommate in Boulder, and that she drives a Land Rover that she can't afford, along with the tattoo on her shoulder. Like it's
You're gonna have to sing it, or
you
else.
know it. I wish I knew the lyrics well enough. I would too. Let's see, tattoo on your shoulder lyrics. Lyrics. Yep. By is it by Chainsmokers? Yes, it is. It's called Closer.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up.
Closer. Yeah. So, baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know
Oh,
you can't afford. Bite that tattoo on your shoulder.
yeah. Okay,
Put
I
the
know
sheets
that.
right off the corner of the mattress that you stole from your roommate back in Boulder.
Okay, see, you just need to
Nobody knows the lyrics to
okay,
that song.
if you sing it, then I'm like, "Oh, I know that." The
And it's
lyrics is like
hilarious because it's like, that is the most arbitrary, like the most random story and personalized story. Like, you know who you are.
wait, what is that song called again? I gotta
Closer
Closer?
or Closer. I don't know which, but probably
By
Closer.
who? By who?
The Chainsmokers.
Okay, oh, I see it here. Okay. I did not know they mentioned Boulder in there.
Why? What is Boulder population like? Two? Or no, I'm just kidding. Like 100,000 or how many? How many live there?
Yeah, it's like 100,000.
Yep.
Well, 100,000, that's including all the students at the university. In the summertime, it goes, man, that's like 30,000 students gone.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the quick distraction and
That's
brief
I
moment of
got it stuck in my
entertainment.
head now. It's one of those songs I'm like, "Oh, it's gonna be stuck in my head."
Every time I hear about Boulder, I got a sister who lives in Bayfield. Do you know where that's at?
Where's that?
Bayfield, Colorado. So it's
Are you in Colorado too?
no, I'm in New Braunfels, Texas.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed that.
That's all right.
I was like, "Oh, you're in Colorado too, okay."
Yeah,
Okay, you're in
Boulder and
Texas.
New Braunfels are pretty similar. Like we like similar vibes and sizes, and becoming more popular destinations for those who want to go to the city but not quite have that city feel.
Yeah, yeah, that would
So,
be Boulder.
yeah,
Huh,
that's it. Suburbs.
nice.
Well, it's great
Suburb.
to meet you, and I love your brand name, the
Thank you.
deskplantcreatives.com. It's unique. Um,
Yeah, you really gotta enunciate it.
you do.
That's
I just noticed that. I was like, ooh, I gotta be careful.
yeah, that's what I have to enunciate it. Like, I really gotta enunciate this.
I've been there. The first company that I remember that I answered phones for was Dr. Sertich. Dr. Sertich is advanced ear, nose, and throat, otorhinolaryngologist, facial plastic surgeon of Texas. Like, that was my first phone training. Was let's just create the longest possible name ever. Uh, and then I went to a company called Scene Interactive, and that didn't help because it was like, what? Scene Interactive.
See,
In like you're seeing
in.
something. Yeah,
Oh, I see.
choice.
I see.
So
In
I'm good at picking awkward company names
and enunciating.
to work for. Blue Skies Hospitality Management Systems was after that. Blue Skies HMS. Like, what?
Oh, wow.
We changed the names though. So Senior Active became Own Local, and Blue Skies Hospitality Management Systems became Restaurant Connect, which made a whole lot more sense. So,
That's great.
yeah, you gotta make life hard in order to appreciate life once it's easy, right?
I actually was remembering one of the first tasks that I did when I started my business.
Hmm.
I started as a virtual assistant, and the first task that I ever had for my business was to cancel my client's Comcast account,
Oh.
which is the hardest thing to do in the world. I knew it was hard to cancel, like these kind of like cable whatever
Mhm.
accounts, but especially as a business account, they make it notoriously difficult. And when I finally successfully canceled it, I was like, if I can do that, I can do anything. There
That's
is nothing I cannot do in my business if I can cancel a business Comcast account for a client.
You should be a self-discovery coach because you've just unlocked so many realities about my life in the last like our last 2 minutes of conversations, things I haven't thought about in a long time. And now that, and I'm like, wait a second. Because the first multi-level marketing thing I ever made the mistake of getting into was ACN. I don't know if you're familiar, but it was a
ACN.
telecommunications one. So
Wow.
I was selling Dish Network, DirecTV,
Uh-huh.
all those things, and I
Uh,
was walking clients through all of those incredibly ridiculous loopholes of how to get
yes.
through them and how to make things happen. And
Ridiculous, ridiculous loophole.
that's like what I started in business. And I
Yeah.
forgot about that. And I just take
Okay.
it for granted because,
That's
like I worked my tail off to figure out how to do that.
it's
And
it's like a full-time job to figure out how all the loopholes and
in
like
10
what
months, I
can
think
we
I
get
made
out of this?
$8.32.
What's that?
In 10 months, I think I made $8.32
Oh my gosh.
learning how to do that. Yeah. And
Wow.
it was a
Wow.
full-time job.
Wow.
I spent a lot of credit card money, but
Oh wow.
yeah, that was but it's funny because it now makes a lot of sense why business isn't as difficult, like infrastructure and stuff, because I
Mm.
I went through all of that.
Right?
Like that was
You
my
just
life
have to
for a year.
remember that moment. Like,
Yeah.
if I can do that, then everything
Yeah.
else is just gonna be fine. If I can
I will trump you though. Canceling a business account with Bank of America is actually it's proven to be impossible. So
Bank of
there's that.
America? Okay, I
Well,
am
I have a
not
shared account
surprised.
with a partner, and we have submitted notarized note. Well, first off, he had to fly out because we had to sign it together for the notarized
Oh, wow.
accounts, and we had to do it twice, and they still didn't cancel the account. Um, so we've got this random bank account that just is impossible, and they don't know how to close it. We called them, and we had to go all the way up to the VP of tech, and he's like, "I don't know what's going on with y'all's account, guys." And like
Oh,
that was
that's
it.
great.
They just left it. So like
That's
we
great. I'm
um,
actually going to be closing one of my business bank account with Chase, and
don't
so I'm
bank with
thinking
Bank of
like,
America.
"Oh,
I like Chase. I do not
yeah,
like Bank of America at all.
Chase has been good." But yeah, I can see that about Bank of America. Okay, that one might take some more research, maybe some personal experience from someone because
Well, what was awkward is then I called in and I got this lady convinced to help me. And she got so like enthralled in the process of wanting to help me. She's like, "Oh, I found the delete button. I can just delete it." And I'm like, "No, no, no, no." I was like, "First off, you don't have our permission. You don't have his permission. Why would you delete it? Like, don't click the button." And it's like, "Okay, I'll cancel." And I'm like, she almost deleted our bank account. Like she was
just
just
like that, it was just it's a button there,
That's
so
what
it
she
is.
said. That's what she's walking me through. And I'm like, well, we don't, like, she didn't even have all the verification stuff to know that I was the account owner. And I was like,
She
yeah,
was
I'm
going to
never
click
going
the
to
button.
use Bank of America again. Like, ever. So
They need to make it into a big red button, like one of those really with the case. That way you really know, like, don't just press this button for any reason.
it was weird. It was weird. I lost complete faith in their bank account. So that said, from rap songs to lack of rapport with banks. We'll move into the pre-show. We don't have as all the time that I really like to use, but we'll do what we can. And
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you about your vision. Like we're gonna record some pre-show segments. I'll ask you about your vision. Depending on how you answer that, I might have a few follow-up questions, and then let's see here. Do you have a hard stop at the top of the hour, or do you have an extra 10 minutes?
Yeah, let me look. And again, I'm sorry, I was
No, that's
late.
okay. And then we had fun, so it worked out.
Nope, I'm good.
So
I
if we can go to 3:10, then I'll make that the hard stop, and we will. I won't have to rush anything because I once had a lady who I really wanted on the show, but she had 4 kids in the car, and that's why I was excited to have her on the show because she was a mom and a work person too, and I like helping parents, and I'm a parent. It matters, but we rushed. And then towards the end, as we were trying to like rush, she was uncomfortable because of the rush, and it just like
Mhm.
ruined the relationship. And I was like, that sucks. So,
And she had 4 kids in the car too? Oh my gosh.
and I was trying to tell her like, look, I get it. And she's like, they're all sleeping. And I was like, okay. I was like,
All
I'm a parent.
sleeping? How
I can
did
do
she
that,
do that?
right?
How
And
did
well, then I
that
heard one
happen?
talking, and I was like, oh, they're not. I was like, do you want to reschedule? And she's like, no, we can do it. And she's like, they're trust me, they're good. So I trusted, but then I could tell it was awkward, and I was
It
like,
was okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna text my husband right now because
yeah,
he's watching the kids, and I did tell him that I was gonna be done at that
very good.
time,
Yeah,
but I need to let him know because he's
yeah,
watching
good
the
for
kids.
you. Yes, huge.
And so
You do that.
okay, let me text
Our
her.
Yeah, you do that text
Uh,
for us. Just so you know, our big mission goal. It's not a mission and a vision. It's a rally cry. And I'm trying to figure out how to label that so people aren't like, "What's a rally cry?" But it's to create a full appreciation for family and personal well-being in the workplace,
mhm.
and not just that it exists, but like literally the preposition is on purpose within the workplace, because it's family's often the afterthought. Why? Like that's the most important part, and personal
Yeah.
well-being too. Like that should be the focal point, not the afterthought and not the inconvenient thing. So yeah, if you need to communicate with them, go ahead and take care of that, and then we'll dive in. But I'm a single father of 4, and so having my kids involved in my life, and like business and all that overlaps. So
Yes, it's an
really,
overlap.
yeah,
I call it work-life integration.
yeah, I like it. I love that.
It's
Integration's
all
great.
it's all integrated. It's
You know it.
there's there's no separating. So
That's right.
it's all together. Let me see if I can put my headphones in too.
Sure.
I probably should have charged it. Let me see what it's at. Is my audio okay without the headphones?
Your audio sounds good. It's
Okay,
it's a tiny bit loud, but that's not a bad thing. But it works.
it's a
Just if
little
you have
loud.
super headphones, then awesome. But if they're not like incredible, it sounds pretty much perfect.
Okay, okay. They're just earbuds, so
Yeah,
it might not
yeah,
make
it
a
sounds
difference.
great.
Okay, I'm not gonna put it in because I
Good.
think they're almost out of
This is
batteries.
behind the scenes anyway. So,
Okay, perfect. This is like the bloopers.
any other questions? Yep, that's right. We should use the blooper reels for this one. Talking about Boulder and me having to sing. Yeah, my team would love
That was good. Please include that part. That was great.
it. Let my team know. Seriously, you can just tell my team like, hey, there's a part of Jackson he's singing. You should put this online. They'll follow you. They'll dig it.
Okay, good, good. Well, let's put that in.
It's not the worst thing I've gone viral for, so that's good.
Ooh, that sounds like a good story.
Yeah, yeah, you know it. So, are you ready for me to ask you the questions, or do you have any questions for me before we dive into that?
Yeah, what are the questions around again?
I'm gonna ask you to just tell me about your vision.
Oh, yeah, yeah, okay. Yes.
So it'll be that, and then they'll all be surrounding that. I'll read to you real quick what you wrote me. I bet you wrote it. But, my vision is to empower soulful women entrepreneurs to tell their stories that connects, compels, and sells with audacious authenticity through powerful messaging. I want listeners to approach their email marketing endeavors with new inspiration. Cool. So you can expand upon that. We're not, again, you don't have to say like, oh yeah, based on what you just read. Nobody's going to hear that until we start the official process. So
All
you
right.
tell me when you're ready, and I'll go.
All right, ready.
And it's Joanne Homestead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. Joanne Homestead, tell me about your vision.
I am really passionate about supporting women entrepreneurs and coaches, specifically in wellness and well-being, especially because over the last several years of owning my own business, I have gone through such a personal growth journey.
Mm.
I have learned so much about prioritizing my own wellness and well-being, and especially as a mom of young kids with a young business. It's like a handful.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm really passionate about helping my clients who are in wellness and well-being, because I see the impact they're making at an individual level, but also at a community and like at a larger level too. And so I really just want them to be able to get their message out there, to be able to tell their authentic stories, to really put themselves out there, because a lot of times they are hiding, especially when it comes to marketing. They There's a lot of layers to peel off, and that's okay.
Wow.
That's it's normal. It's I go through the same thing too. I am a
Yeah.
marketer, and I have to peel back the layers for myself when I'm marketing for myself. And so just really being able to step into authenticity with their message and what they're saying, what do they stand for, and how they really help their clients.
Absolutely. That's huge. Peeling back the layers is definitely one way to put it, and already exposes quite a bit of the authenticity of your nature. I've never met a unicorn, by the way, like a real one, and I've also never met a marketer, a marketing guy or marketing gal. Is to me, those are those terms that I say are fables. It's a department, um, and a department consists of multiple people, but you may be the first. So I am excited to kind of pick your brain about that for the sake of those who are out there trying to learn these strategies about business. Speaking, do you have any thoughts on that before I move on? I don't want to steal your thunder because I really love what you do from the messaging standpoint, the way you hold yourself and getting messaging right. It's not typically the the coaches and the entrepreneurs' first skill set. They usually weren't English lit majors. So that's a very important thing for them to get help with is how do I convey this message in a way that's valuable in an online space and in the written form.
Yeah. The first thing I like to say is I am a former teacher of 15 years. And
Oh.
what I like to tell my
Did you
clients,
start at 10 years old? Because that
10 years old.
doesn't seem possible.
Actually, I did start when I was 8 years old, when my sister was born.
Wow.
That's when I realized, like, oh, this I love. I feel like I was always making her little worksheets and make little games for her and read to her and do all these things. Anyhow, yeah, 15 years. I tried leaving it several times, but that is a story for another time. Where am I going with this? Oh, I tell my clients that to throw everything out that they learned about writing from school, because a lot of the times they're thinking like, okay,
Yes.
5 paragraph essay, introductory paragraph, 3 headings, 3 subheadings, conclusion, wrap it up. And I just throw it out. That's,
You work with smart people, though. That's
that.
impressive.
And so I tell them like the the messaging, there's the writing piece and then there's the messaging piece. Like the messaging piece is like the piece that I did as a
Mm,
teacher. It's understanding who you're talking to. It's understanding who you are and your relationship with who you're talking to, and how do you build the bridge, how do you connect. And that is what I love doing as a teacher, is really building that relationship with students, and then understanding, okay, what do they need to hear, what stories are going to engage them, because when you have like 36-year-olds in a room together all day long, you're going to need to engage them with some storytelling.
yeah.
So just figuring out, okay, what stories is really going to engage them, to compel them, to make them like lean forward and go like, oh, and then how do you get them to take an action, but also how do you get them to own the action? Because I'm not there to force them to do anything.
Right.
You could force them, but that's
Yeah.
not the route I wanna take, and it's not the best route to take for learning, and so
Mhm.
that's the messaging
Oh,
piece.
you have superpowers. And you have incredible. You just revealed a ton of superpowers. I'm a big believer. Perhaps I'm brainwashed in the power and dynamic of teachers who can teach kids. And I know there are certain people out there who are like, why don't you just talk to me like I'm an adult? I'm like, wait a second. It's way more fun, to study and learn at that level with a dynamic teacher who can connect the dots in a way that's enjoyable and fun. So I'm excited to have you on the show. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yay. I love how you said connected ads. That's what I talk about too
Well,
to my clients.
you
It's like
actually connected something for me, right? Like the message, the way you broke down the difference between the message and the copy. It made me imagine, like, oh my gosh, like that's what a teacher does, is the little physical textbook. Like you can't get that into the child's brain, or into my brain. But
yeah.
you're talking about facilitating that bridge, and I could see the book, like the value of what's in it, actually understanding what's in it. It doesn't come from just looking at the textbook. It
Mhm.
comes by that facilitation. And there's a different type of dance and rhythm and strategy to making that happen. And you've been practicing that on people, little people who are allowed to be insubordinate in nature, and you still have to deal with it and figure out how to help them. Like your management skills are probably through the roof. Uh,
Oh, yeah, that was a whole learning process. But yeah, it's just understanding where meeting them where they are. That's a lot of the messaging and copywriting too. It's meeting people where they are.
yeah,
Where are they? Let's find them there and let's guide them along. And that's what I love about that's my favorite thing about email copywriting. It feels like I'm guiding people along.
uh,
They're going on a journey here from point A to point B to point C.
that's right.
Okay, we've reached this destination. Now where do we go from here? And so
It's a
yeah,
it's a love. It's a passion. I
yeah.
can hear it, see it, feel it as you talk about it, and
Uh-huh.
I share it with you. So we're romanticizing this episode a bit. Uh, the next piece. So all right, I'm going to ask two questions. They're leading questions. They are very much built in a way where if you disagree with them, you can shoot them down. If you do agree with them, and however you want to handle this, it is so important, in my opinion, that visionaries start to really internalize the value of this message. Why do leaders hide from funding their own visions? And how do leaders lean into funding the vision? What do they need in order to truly say, like, oh my gosh, I want to do this? And what are the mechanisms? What are the resources available to help them really build that dream into reality?
Mm, good questions.
Mhm.
Can you put that first question back on the screen?
Why do leaders hide from funding the vision? And how do leaders lean into it?
Yeah, I feel like that it kind of goes back to what I feel like is like peeling away the layers of the hiding
Mhm.
and almost like, okay, how do I say this?
Mhm. Hard topic.
um, all right, I think for for leaders in terms of like thinking about entrepreneurship, it's finding that you're in your own way.
Mhm.
This is what I personally have found, and it happens all the time where I realized what was blocking me was myself. There was something that was in the way, either like a belief,
Yeah.
something that I was thinking that I thought was true but wasn't actually true, but it was just cycling in my head as being true, and just taking the time to stop and reflect on it and just like bringing that awareness. So I think that
I'll give
like
a tangible example. I
yeah.
used to call myself the marketing guy because a lot of people used to
Mm,
call me that. And I was working with a dental office, and we absolutely crushed it together. I told them when I started, my job is to work myself out of a job. You guys will be fine without me once we set these foundations. That's not the problem. I did not need that job. I had plenty of clients to go with. The problem, and the thing I felt guilty for, was once that we got to that point and they knew they needed it, my paradigm had shifted a lot, and I realized, crap, all of this is now going to fall on her shoulders. And she has no idea how valuable a marketing department is. So I've now worked this person into a mindset where they feel like they're responsible for everything, or they're going to be fine without me. They'd be fine without me, but they will not be fine without a marketing department with the scale that they wanted to achieve. And so I planted this very nasty seed in their reality. And it came from what you said, my limiting belief. My superpower was my ultimate crux that created certain success for entrepreneurs while also creating an extreme limitation that was then hard for them to escape. And yeah, so that's one limitation that can happen, is we overvalue ourselves in the
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
What else though?
That's a great example. And I mean, thinking about like being an island on our own, and kind of what you're saying about a team is what I have come to realize in the last year in my own business is marketing is not just like this one little dot, like we talking about connecting the dots. It is there's a lot of dots. There's a lot that goes on. There's a lot involved. And so for me, what I have realized, like, okay, if I want my clients to really win, I want them to get the most out of what they're getting here. And I'm specifically talking about my done for you email sequence service, is that I also want to make sure that they have the larger picture, the larger strategy, which takes, as you're saying, like a team, because
Yeah.
there's the launch strategy, there's the offer strategy, there's like all these, there are so many dots, there's
Connect.
so many
They're supposed
pieces,
to connect.
and they're supposed to connect. And so I have actually gotten to a point, I am probably like totally off topic.
No, you're on top. You're on point. I'm going to tie it full circle. You got
Okay.
this.
Like,
If somebody's following us, they're smart enough to understand this and value it. If they're not, then go back and listen again. This is valuable. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I have found that the best solution for what I'm providing for my superpower, which is like the copywriting and the messaging piece, is to work with collaborative partners and to put my offer into their bigger client packages, because then I know that they are getting the bigger strategy. They are getting what they need in terms of like the launch, and what they need in terms of like, is their offer the right offer? Does it need to be
Yeah.
tweaked and all that? And then I can come in there and I can place my dots in, and then
Yes.
we can connect the dots all together. And I find that there's just more success for everyone involved. And so
You
I
have a
feel like,
talent and a gift for teaching. I know this, and I can see it and feel it. And I'm excited to place this burden on you as a teacher. Right. The formula I'm trying to figure out how to solve with this exact question: how do we inspire leaders to lean into understanding they need a team to complete their vision? Right. There is a responsibility as service providers for us to, and maybe that's not always the case, but I don't get involved with a company or a team unless I see that they have the components or they are willing to take on the necessary dots to create the solution. And that's something that we're not going to solve today, but I just want to plant the seed with you, because there's too many entrepreneurs out there who think the solopreneur route is the route to win, but I've never met a solopreneur who's successful. I've met a whole lot of people who say they are. I've met a whole lot of solopreneurs who forget the value of the team who's actually helped them build what they built and never mention those people. But I've never met a true solopreneur
yeah,
that's
yeah,
successful.
there is always someone else involved. I totally fall into that sometimes too, because I have me, and it can feel like sometimes an island, and I put on there like, is there anyone on my team? No, it's just me. But I'm like, no, actually, I gotta give credit to my husband because he's my bookkeeper. He's
That's
my
right.
accountant.
And he's holding the fort down with your kiddos right now. We know
He
this. We've
is
heard this.
holding the fort
So,
down with the kids outside that door right
which is
there.
great. I appreciate that. Like it's,
Yeah.
you got somebody
Yeah.
to take care of them. If you didn't, I'd be like, please pause and go, go take, but I know that you got that team member to help. So well said. We don't give our families enough credit in the process.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I when I put it on the form, like it's just me, but it's like, no, it's not just me. There's no way you can't do it on your own. And I feel like I have felt so much of that as a teacher as well for 15 years of being in the classroom, feeling like you're alone because you are an island and people just expect you to do your thing. But it's not sustainable. It is not sustainable at any point, which is why a lot of teachers burn out and leave. It's because it's not sustainable. You cannot do everything on your own.
Right.
You will burn out. And that's what I did. I burned out every year. And so as an entrepreneur, I brought that into my business, not even knowingly,
Right.
because that was how I functioned. That was what I was in. That was familiar with me until someone brought it up and the awareness piece just like blew my mind like, oh my gosh, I am
Hmm.
doing what I wanted to leave. I didn't want to be my own island, and then I was bringing it into my business, and so I'm in the process of learning. Like, no, this is a team effort. It's a
Cool.
collaborative effort because if you want a sustainable business, you're going to need help, and you're going to need other perspectives, and for people to come and see what you don't see, and to help you in areas that you you just need support in. That's human. It's human beings.
I've seen you evolve in this conversation already. And that is an incredible gift. Not many people on earth can do it that fast. And that is so critical as a leader, is to be able to evolve and pick up. And I say it's important to, it's the difference between I have to and I have the opportunity to, right? So if I look back at the teaching world, um, a lot of people burn out, not because of the external factor, in my opinion. There is that too, but it's how we receive that external factor. There's teachers who last 30 years, who do it the wrong way, so to speak, right? And there's teachers who give up, even though they had all the right support in the world, they just didn't want to teach. There's all sorts of variables, but you're right. I mean, it's easy to feel on an island in a process, but if I had a textbook that was provided me, right, or a teaching manual, I had support. If I have parents who bring those kids to school and I don't have to go gather them because I'm not in a village in some remote country that doesn't have all of that support or that interaction, then I got support. But how do we show up? How do we keep our tank full, and not deplete it in the process? That is a challenge. I'm not preaching. I'm trying to figure it out too. These
Yeah.
conversations help me as much as they help anybody who listens to these segments. But we unpacked a lot of great answers in terms of how to lean into the funding right now, which isn't always monetary. A lot of times it has to do with how do we lean in psychologically, how do we lean in mentally, how do we lean in with emotion, how do we lean in with resources that are like softwares, support from team members. You crushed this. This was awesome.
It's credit goes to my coaches who have helped me to see these things that I couldn't see. It's like blind spots. It's like when I'm looking for something in the house and I cannot find it anywhere, and my husband says every time, it's right in front of your face.
Right.
It literally is in front of my face, and I go, oh yeah, that's my
Yeah.
blind spot there. Right in front of my face.
That's right. So we're gonna use the last 2 minutes. We still went long, but it was a fun experience. So let me do this real fast. I'm gonna send you the link to book your official show. It's a
Yeah.
very different show than what we just did, by the way. Um, the A lot more formal. We stay, and I give you the questions in advance.
There's no singing.
We can sing. Um, you can sing with me. So I just sent that first email. That has the link to book. I just sent you introductions to other podcasters who. Oh wait, no, I didn't. I'm sorry. I sent you the Facebook ads information first. My bad. Let me send you the last one, which is the approval one. Approved. Where are you? There it is. Okay. So the email you're just now receiving is the one to book. The second email in your inbox should be the introductions to other podcasters. What it is it's application pages to 3 to 5 podcasters per week who I love, and I've been excited. I loved having them on my show. You can unsubscribe from that anytime if you don't want to be on their shows. It's just my way to help people.
Yeah.
And then the Facebook ad strategy, it's $100 commitment to. I'm going to give all $100 to Facebook for those ads, but in the video, I tell you, please don't do it. Like, don't do it. Not without watching the video. The video is all about why we do it and how we go about it. It doesn't make a big difference to us whether you actually do it or not. It's for companies who want to evaluate how we run Facebook ads so they can see if they want us to be an expansion of their team. So it's not for the sake of making you a billionaire overnight based on $100. We're going to take those episodes, those little introductions, we're going to distribute them. Podcasts are a lot like a trade show, but it's never ending. There's so many distractions in the world that getting people to pay attention to this one is the constant challenge. So if you've never been to a trade show, what often happens is there's like stages people can go on and present at, but if they do a really bad job of filling that audience, both the entity that runs the stage and the person who should have attracted people to come to their stage, they end up with a small audience and it kind of looks awkward. So we're going to do the announcements on our side, trying to convince people that you're the Michael Jordan of copywriting, so to speak. But our people are going to know there's a lot of other things they could do with their time. So you can also promote it. We're going to cut every episode. We're going to ask about 12 questions in the main episode, or I don't know, 8 questions. We cut every single one into its own episode. So by the time we're done with this, we'll have 10 to 12 episodes in your case. The best performing shows get turned into highlight reels. Facebook ads, newsletter. I'm just trying to skip everything I can for the sake of time. We have a group you're welcome to join. It's quaint. There's about 120 people in there. And most of them are people who've been on the show. I think they're good people. Lastly, the things you can do to help is the landing page. Once we finish the episode, we'll have a landing page done. We want your feedback on it. Anything that you would want changed, we're happy to change with it. We want it to be something you're proud of. The Apple Podcast, Spotify link, and YouTube link. If you like the show experience, of course, subscribing and leaving a review, it really helps with the organic distribution. So if we climb the ranks, we get more views to the podcast stuff. You're going to be able to, of course, write an email about it. But what we do is we give you full copyright access. So for instance, if you want to change the video to cut me out and to cut my brand out and rebrand it, you're welcome to. This is yours. It's all about your vision, not mine. So use it how you see fit.
All right.
And lastly, if you have anybody who would appreciate being on the show, that can be Jeff Bezos, if you know, or that can be Joe, John Doe. And we don't really have a certain threshold. We're looking for great leaders. We're looking for people who have great leadership skills. You have that. I saw that. I'm excited to see your trajectory grow, promote you as a provider. And that was the whole purpose of this, was to figure out, are you a good person or not? And I think you're a good person.
Oh, thanks. I really enjoyed our conversation, and I would love to promote, and also, okay. Sorry, you were sharing your screen. I was seeing you put it into that chat, and I was like, where do I go? This is where I can recommend other people to be a guest on the podcast too. Okay, great. I have a question.
Yeah, sometimes people will introduce me and they'll be like, Jackson, meet John, John, meet Jackson. Y'all take it from here. And John comes in with sword and shield because they don't know who Jackson is. Right. And it's awkward. And then he wants me to pitch him. And then it just turns awkward. But if you lead by example and give John the link that you used, then I can follow up with an email and say, hey, John, would love to meet you, and just hit send. And then John can choose whether he wants to be on a podcast or not. but he's got context. So, as a copywriter, like it's
Yeah, yes.
got to be set up the right way.
Yes, definitely. It makes a difference.
Yeah.
Can I copy and paste all of that in the chat, or can I download it?
Yes, you should be able to copy it. Copy
Okay.
it all and paste it into a notepad.
Let me copy that.
It's not my favorite chat. I need to figure out a solution for that one. And every email we send has actually is like as many as there are. They're not excessive, but they all have new value in them. So I would look for that. Make sure to see the questions though. The one that has the questions that comes through. I ask really hard questions in the main show, like what's the worst leadership experience you've ever had? And what's the best? And so thinking through those, meditating on those in advance can put you in a better position to answer those authentically.
No, I appreciate having questions beforehand. I'm trying to find our screen because I here we are. I was copy and pasting the chat into my email, and then I lost the screen. I'm back. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great. Okay. Let me just review really quick. Okay. You sent the email to book the recording, and then the questions will be sent. And then there's the community Facebook group to join. And then everything else will be sent after that. Or you did send another email.
You got one more email with the Facebook ads information. I would definitely watch that video. It blows paradigms. And
you did send the emails already?
I did. Did you not get them? It should have gone to
no.
Joanne at deskplantcreatives.com.
Yeah.
And it does say sent.
Let me just refresh really quick.
Maybe check spam. I hope not. But if it is, please mark it as important.
Let me go to spam. Huh. Okay, sorry. Let me just check really quick because I don't see it.
Okay.
There it is. It's in spam.
No, they're all in spam?
Yeah.
We have like a 90, like a 9 out of 10 score for we shouldn't be in there. It's driving me crazy.
Wow. Okay, I gotta look through my spam folder actually. Is it a bunch of stuff in here that should not be spam? Okay. Report not spam.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then report not spam. That's weird how it went into spam because I've gotten emails from you already.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. We're in a constant IT battle with must be nice to be the big old brands that don't have to worry about that, even though they spam you constantly. But
yeah, there have been problems with emails going to spam for other business owners as well. Okay, it's out of spam. But where did it go though? Oh, there it is. Okay, it's showing up in my inbox now. Sorry, I'm just making sure.
No, it's okay.
Okay, there it is.
We'll be well aligned.
Mark is right. Okay, there it is. Okay, thank you so much.
Pleasure to meet you.
I gotta find that screen again. There we go. Thanks so much, and yeah, we'll speak again soon.
Awesome. That sounds good. Feel free to reach out anytime. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye, Joanne. Take care.
Bye.